Hello. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, I'm just waiting for more people to be on. We got, I think, 9 people. Let's see how many people will be on. Should be at least like 20, 30, 40 people. Yeah. 9. How's it going, Robert? Yeah. So, um, I think last week or in some of the last newsletters, I was talking about how to apply certain books, certain literature to magic, okay, as well as to the mind. We're dealing with one enemy and one enemy alone, okay? Your own mind. That's the enemy. That's the enemy. Now, we're not the first people to ever exist or to ever think about life, okay? So that's the reason why we can look at old things or old texts, old books that have been written and learn from that, okay? If we have the right approach, um, we can learn a lot, okay, and improve our own magic with that. So that's why I'm gonna do a new series. I don't know at what frequency or when exactly I'm gonna do that, but today I'm starting a new series where I'm gonna read The Art of War to you, and I'm gonna go through different parts of the text, and I'm gonna show you how to apply that to your own mind, okay? Because that's actually what has been written for. It's not just for warfare. Yeah, you can use it in military strategy and whatnot, okay? Of course, that's what you can use it for. You can use it for a battle that you're fighting, like a one-on-one fight, okay? Let's say you're sparring. You can use the principles written there to overcome your enemy. But the most important fight is, or the most important fight, the most important battle is going on inside of your head, right? So this is what this will be applied to, and also to magic and witchcraft, because magic and the control over spirits in the spirit world is the result of you mastering your own mind, at least to a certain degree. Okay, so let me see how many people are on. 13. Should I start now? Yeah. Okay, so let me start. Now, first of all, let me give you a little bit of background information about this book, The Art of War. What is it? And I'm just gonna give you the introduction here in this volume that I'm holding in my hands right now. Okay. I mean, this specific book here that I'm holding does not just include The Art of War. It also includes the Tao Te Ching. Um, it includes writings by Confucius, The Great Learning, the Doctrines of the Mean, and works of Mencius. Okay, all classics of Eastern philosophy. Okay. Now, when it comes to philosophy, when it comes to the science of the mind and whatnot, I'm definitely more interested in Eastern philosophy, stuff that is, mainly Asia, East Asia, South Asia, stuff like that. Because why? Because let's call it modern psychology, or what you will generally find in the Western psychology or philosophy, is incomplete in my opinion. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. Don't get offended. All I'm saying is, man, or human beings are seen as these automatons for the most part. Okay, so I like to have a holistic view on things. Okay, and let's say philosophies that are inspired by yoga, Buddhism, they're much more holistic. So I like what they cover. Okay, so let me begin. Okay, Sun Tzu and the Art of War. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. This seemingly obvious statement has been reiterated throughout history by authorities ranging from St. Augustine to Karl von Clausewitz. Okay, and those are all generals in history that have themselves written books on warfare. Okay. However, it was Sun Tzu who first made the case that war is part of political science, a discipline that may and must be studied and mastered. The art of war is the world's oldest military treatise. Okay, yet one that remains relevant today, studied by generals, business leaders, sports coaches, and politicians as a general guide on strategy. Furthermore, it is a work of moral philosophy dealing with the rightness or wrongness of the decision to wage war, as well as the proper and moral way to conduct war, what we could call casus belli and justum belli. Okay, whether or not its putative author Sun Tzu, Master Sun, actually existed is a matter of debate. Sima Qian recorded that he was born in the state of Qi and lived from 544 to 496 BCE during the spring and autumn period. However, it is more likely that the art of war was written during the disordered warring states period that began in 475 BCE and which was only ended by the Qin ascendancy in 221 BCE. Okay, what else is important here? Sun Tzu's work has been widely influential in the 20th century. Mao Zedong, the communist leader, was himself a military theorist whose book on guerrilla warfare was inspired by and written in reaction to the art of war. Never mind. Okay. What else is important here? Okay, so let me read you the actual text, okay? Parts of it. We're not going to go through the entire text, obviously. Right? We don't have the time for that. But I'm going to go into the text now. Have you ever read the Book of Five Rings? Yes, of course I've read the Book of Five Rings. I'm a martial artist, my friend. I can't imagine a true martial artist not reading the Book of Five Rings. What kind of a martial artist is that? The Book of Five Rings, for those who don't know, was written by Musashi, and Musashi was a man that had dedicated his life to the art of sword fighting, yeah. And that was his philosophy. You see, any artist, look, you got to dedicate your life to something, okay? As a man, you have to dedicate your life to some sort of art form, okay? And as you do that, this will be your access point to study life, all of life, okay? Life is one thing, if that makes sense, okay? It's everything is connected to it, okay? It's just life. But it depends on what lens you choose to look at it and to learn about it. Okay, you could use the martial arts to do that. You could use any art really. Okay, but you need something. Okay, just choose something that you want to master, and through that lens, through being that person that studies this art, being the student of this art, you will learn about life and everything there is to know about it. Okay. So I have picked magic. I'm a magician. I have other interests as well, but my art is the occult. It's magic. It's witchcraft. And through that lens, I study everything. That's why I can relate something like the art of war to magic and witchcraft, you see? So this is how you know if you're actually on that path, you know? You see everything through that lens, and everything that comes into your life, you relate back to your art, okay? So let me go into the text here. This is the actual art of war, okay? Chapter 1, laying plans. Sun Tzu said the art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors to be taken into account in one's deliberations when seeking to determine the conditions obtaining in the field: the moral law, heaven, earth, the commander, method of discipline. Okay, so let's talk about what I said so far. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. Now, in this case, when we look at the mind, the state is just you, your mind. Look, everything starts with a thought, right? The highest leverage activity, when used correctly, the highest leverage activity is a thought. What do you think? Everything starts with a thought. Think about movements. Think about movements. Before you move your body somewhere, your mind goes there first, right? Now, that's a very simple thing that everybody does on a daily basis, but think about it. Before you lift up a pen, your mind has to go into that activity first, right? Your mind goes there and then your body follows, you see? So the mind and the physical world are obviously connected in some way or another. You see? Aren't they? You can see that every day, just by the smallest activities that you do. Dragging your ass out of bed. Okay? There has to be a thought first. Why do you drag your ass out of bed? Your mind has to go somewhere first. Like maybe you want to drink a coffee or something like that. Oh, I want coffee. Your mind goes to coffee and then your body follows, right? So where is the connection here? Where is the connection? Where does thought, which is something metaphysical, okay? It's not the physical universe. It's way too subtle. It is energy, but it's not the physical universe. How does thought cause you to get up and move towards the coffee? Well, you might say that we got neural activity. Okay, the thoughts create signals in your nervous system, and your nervous system then, gets your body to act. Yeah, but it is a mental principle that causes the neural activity. So where's the connection between physical and mind? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Where is the thought originating from? You see? And this is actually an age-old problem here. It's a philosophical problem, but it can't be solved due to quantum physics. You understand? Since we have quantum physics, we know that observation in some way or another has an effect on physical matter. Okay, so the question is, do your thoughts originate in the physical matter of your brain, or is there something outside of the physical matter of the brain that is generating the thought? And your experience will show you that it is actually the latter, what I just said, okay? There is a being or an awareness, a consciousness that originates the thought, and then this is being executed, the thoughts, the intention is being executed through the physical thing that you inhabit. You see what I mean? So when we talk about the state, we're talking about, let's call it the body or the body-mind complex. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. See, what is war? War can be defined as, let's say, opposite forces interacting with each other. I think that makes sense, right? Wherever you got polarity, you will have conflict in the interaction. So war or conflict is an inevitable part of life because we live in a dual universe. We got plus and minus, we got polarity, we got female, masculine, we got plus and minus, we got all of that, okay? This is the principle that our experience here, the 3D world, the physical universe is built upon. Okay, so war, make no mistake, war will never be out of the picture. It's part of life. Okay, even you right now, your body is fighting something off. In every moment, your body is being attacked by viruses, bacteria. And your immune system has to fight that off, you see. Whatever you do, whatever intentions you have, whatever you try to create in life, you will find opposition, okay? So war is not the problem. It is you resisting the war that causes the problem. It is you not accepting the realities of life. Okay? It is not about peace in the world. Don't worry about peace in the world. Okay? Create peace within yourself. The world will always be at war. That's a given. Okay? We got, even when we look about into spirituality, since it is as above, so below, I know, I can guarantee you that the spirit world is full of war. Different entities, different deities fighting each other, different forces, universal forces at war. Demons and angels that, since the beginning of their existence, sworn enemies, and they're warring against each other. This is what's going on in the spirit world. It's not peaceful, man. It's not peaceful. It's a battlefield, but just like our world. You see, so the key and the secret is not to resist that. It's to understand that you need to win the battle within first, okay? You need to win the battle within yourself. Using something like the art of war by geniuses of the past, okay? Fully understood and mastered. And you learn from that. You learn from that and apply it to your own mind to master your own self, okay? And once that is done, the outside world can be brought under control as well. Okay, you can only win the war against somebody else if you have won the war against yourself first, okay? Now, apply that to every microscopic activity, okay? Everything, okay? Now, if you practice a martial art, if you're a fighter or something like that, you will have plenty of time and chances to actually test that, okay? Because look, you will only win the fight if you are totally at peace with yourself. You know, you will only be able to take advantage of the opening that the person or your opponent gives you in their guard if you are totally calm within yourself. If you're totally calm, if you are centered within yourself, you're gonna take advantage of the opening, okay? Their guard goes down, boom. Okay, it has to come out of nowhere, and you got to be fluid. So you have to be at peace with yourself. If you're at war with yourself, you will become tense. You will not be able to react. You see, and this is a great analogy to life in general. You need to look for peace within yourself. You need to always strive to create peace within yourself, and then you will be best at going to war. Okay, and if you are actually interested in becoming a peaceful individual, which is great, learn about the art of war. If you want peace, learn about the art of war. Guaranteed. Okay. The ones that want peace, they have to learn about the art of war the most. Okay. That's why you will rarely find somebody who's actually good at fighting, picking a fight with people. Okay. You see. So let me continue. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which one can on no account be neglected. Which on no account can be neglected, you see? When we talk about the state, or he talks about the state, I'm talking about the mind-body complex. You, yourself, how do you deal with your own mind? Are you capable of getting yourself out of internal conflicts? If not, you have a problem. Okay? You're at battle with yourself, and you're losing the battle against your mind. You are not the mind, you see. Your mind is your enemy. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors. I went into that before. To be taken into account is in one's deliberations when seeking to determine the conditions obtaining in the field. The moral law, heaven, earth, and the commander, and method and discipline. The moral law, okay? This is point 1 you mentioned here. Moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Let me read it again. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Okay? Now, look at the situation of a great leader. How can a great leader bring his troops behind him? How? See, what structures groups and what determines a group psychology is and ideas, okay? Ideas structure human consciousness in a lot of ways, okay? Now, in other ways, language structures human consciousness, emotions, and whatnot, okay? But in other ways, ideas do that. What do I mean by that? Why do mythologies exist? Mythologies of a country, okay? The country is, from a very early age, the people are taught a certain mythology, a certain story, a certain storyline about a country. This is what we stand for. These are there are values, okay? Our values. And you see people actually believing in a value so much that they sacrifice their life for that value. Can you imagine that? That's only what humans can do. You understand? This is, you will never be able to convince an animal to forego not only pleasure, but their own safety to protect and to serve an ideal. You see? Things like freedom, things like, I don't know, whatever values people might believe in. An idea. You need an idea. You need, yeah, something that is greater than themselves. And when you can get people to believe in that, that idea will develop so much power and strength that people will actually not only fight for it, they will be willing to sacrifice themselves for it, okay? There will never be animals that will do that. Only humans can do that. We can believe so deeply into an idea, we can believe so much in an idea that we're willing to lay our lives down to protect that idea. Okay? Whether it's an ideology, whether it's a group, whatever. Okay? We believe in that, so we give our lives for it. Okay? Ask any soldier. Any soldier that has ever, a soldier worth their salt. We'll do that, okay? So this is also how you structure groups, okay? This is also what any leader has to know. Well, maybe you're a leader of I don't know, maybe you're a Starbucks barista and you just, you're the ruler of your shift, okay? Or in whatever context, you have people below you. Okay, maybe you're a teacher in school or something like that, You have to, in order to structure the group and to not get it get it under control is probably a pretty accurate word or an accurate expression. But what I'm saying is, in order to direct the force of the entire group, you will need a story, an image, something that allows people to believe in it, and will make them, direct their energy towards it. Okay, so coming back to your own mind, the moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Now, apply to your own mind. The people in complete accord with their ruler. What does that mean? Listen, your mind is not your body. They're two separate things. Or rather, we got you, which is your consciousness that is experiencing through the body-mind complex. So we could say that the ruler is that being that you are, the being that comes up with an idea. Okay, this is what I want to achieve. This is the direction that I want my life to take. And as soon as you do that, you're going to be in conflict with your mind and your body, because they will resist that. They will resist any change, and they will resist any change of direction. Okay? So you got an enemy. Like I said, your mind is your enemy. Now, how do you bring your enemy under control? You need an ideal that it can buy into, that it can believe in. Okay, and here's where the imagination comes into play. You need to make the image so clear to your mind that it accepts it as reality, as the new reality. And then the resistance within you will cease to exist. And let me repeat this because, man, this is the secret to life. This is the goddamn secret to life that I'm giving you right now. Okay? Let me repeat that. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. You got two entities. You got yourself, which is experiencing through the mind body complex, and you got the mind body complex. When you can bring your mind under control, the body will follow, as demonstrated earlier by the example of the coffee, right? So you need to tackle the enemy of your mind, the enemy that is your mind. How do you do that? You use the moral law. You give it an image, an idea that it can believe in, and then it will follow. And then it will follow your commands. You see? How? You give it an image. You use your imagination to make an image so strong, and you repeat it over and over and over again until your mind accepts it as the new reality, and then the conflict within you will cease to exist. What are those conflicts that you're dealing with? The resistances, the fight, the battle within your own mind. You have an idea, or you're fascinated by something and you make a plan. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. You move into that direction, and guess what? Doubts are going to rise up within you. Okay, let's not talk about resistance in the outside world, okay? Because that's always going to be part of it, and can overcome any resistance. I promise you, you can overcome any resistance in the outside world as long as you are aligned internally, meaning your mind wants what you want. Okay, when these two things are aligned, nothing can stop you, because any obstacles then just energy. You need to outcreate that destruction outside of you. You just need to put more energy into the creation, then you will find destruction in the outside world. So that only takes persistence. And you have enough energy to do so, like, you can't even fathom what's in your capability. Okay? You have so much energy to create things, but you're losing and you're not creating it because you are messing with yourself. Your mind is fucking you up. Your mind is your enemy, and you don't know how to bring your mind under control, how to dominate it, how to win against your own mind. So this is why we're studying the art of war here. Okay? So use your imagination in order to create an image that is strong enough to become the new reality of the mind. And then this will be what keeps the mind and your troops, your mental troops, under control. Okay? So let's go into another law. Heaven signifies night and day, cold and heat, times and season. You need to understand the territory, okay, or the conditions, conditions of that are affecting the mind. Okay, remember, you are at war with your mind. Your mind is not your friend. Your mind is your enemy. The only enemy that you have in this life, the only real enemy, is your own mind. Okay, any enemy in the outside world can be overcome if you have mastered your own mind. See? So this is what you need to work on: master your own mind. Now, talking about heaven signifies night and day, cold and heat, times and seasons. What he's talking about here are the conditions that your mind is under. Understand the conditions that your enemy is under. Times, weather, night and day, cold, heat, all of that is affecting your mind too, isn't it? Isn't it? Don't different seasons affect the way your mind thinks? Don't different seasons, different times of the day affect the capabilities of your mind? Don't they? They do, right? And I went into that in Magic Mentor. By the way, guys, if you're not signed up for Magic Mentor, you need to get a Magic Mentor. It's not even a question, okay? Get on Magic Mentor. grailoftheserpent.com/Magic Mentor info. But see, one of the lessons in Magic Mentor was keep a journal and write down the times of the day. when you do your magical exercises, okay? Times of the day. What was your diet like? What was, the weather? All of that stuff, the season, the month, all of that stuff has an effect on your capabilities as a magician as well as your mind, okay? So that's why you need to keep records. You need to keep records. You need to know yourself. Know thyself. Okay, know thyself. What did they write? What was what was written at the entry of the temple of, or the oracle of Delphi? Know thyself. That's what they said, right? Know thyself. Right? Know thyself. That's what it's all about. You're fighting one enemy and one enemy only, your own mind. That's the enemy. There's no enemy outside of you. It's only your mind. And you need to understand the enemy and how different conditions affect the enemy. All right? All right. So, Earth comprises distances, great and small, danger and security, open ground and narrow passes, the chances of life and death, you see? So, once again, we got different conditions here. Earth represents different conditions of the mind, okay? Such as diet, such as how much sleep did you get, how much fluids do you take in, you know? What other factors are stressing the mind right now? All of these things play a role. Essentially similar to the law of heaven, right? Or the factor of heaven. The commander stands for the virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. The commander, now, the commander is the one that chooses the direction, which is not the mind. The mind is an execution organ. You understand? The mind and the mind can affect the body. But the mind is also just a tool. It's an execution organ. You, the one that picks the agenda, the commander, is outside of it. It exists outside of all of that, you see? So you need to learn to, from that other perspective, being the commander, impose the new agenda onto the mind. How do you learn that? In meditation. In meditation, we learn to increase the gap between stimulus and response, you see? And in that gap, you learn to choose the direction of the stimulus. Okay, let me make it clearer. When you become aware of your own mind in meditation, and there is a bigger gap between stimulus and response, you have a choice. You have a choice. Before you react internally, you will increase your ability to choose your reaction. And from that ability, you will then be able to choose your reactions, to choose the interpretations. You understand? How you interpret things determines how your body responds to them. Not only that, you can create things out of nothing. Remember, the creation starts within your own mind. But unless you, meaning the being that exists outside of your mind, is just experiencing through the mind, unless you determine the vision, other forces outside of you will determine your internal reality. And at that point, you're not in control of yourself. And at that point, your mind will become your biggest enemy. But if you can take charge over your own imagination, you have won. You have mastered your mind, and you will be in control over your life and destiny and the direction of it at that point. Do you understand how powerful this is? Do you understand how powerful it is? I hope you do. Yeah. So let me go on to the next one. How many people do we have on? 40 people? Okay, well, it's a little better. Now, this was the commander. 10. By method and discipline are to be understood the marshalling of the army in its proper subdivisions, the graduations of rank among the officers, the maintenance of roads by which supplies may reach the army, and the control of military expenditure. Okay, well, this essentially speaks of understanding the structure, the chain of command within yourself, which is what I laid out earlier. Okay? Are you a slave to your impulses, or are you the one, meaning the being that exists outside of you, that makes autonomous decisions, capable of forcing your will onto your own mind? Are you capable of doing that, or are you a slave to your impulses? How do you know? Well, look at your life. That's the easiest way to know. It's not the outside world. It's never the outside world. It is you. Okay? Are you capable of overcoming impulses? Are you capable of doing that? And look at the different areas of your life to know if you are or not. Because if you are not, if you're not capable of doing that, your health is going to suck, your money is going to suck, your relationships are going to suck, and your spiritual development is not going to be there. Okay? Because then you're a slave to the impulses from the outside world. And believe me, we live in a world where if you don't master this, if you don't master this, you're food for entities, advertising, for corporations. Listen, man, every single thing that we do. Look, there are people, armies of highly, highly, highly intelligent people that spend 24 hours a day figuring out how they can use your mind against you. Okay? I'm not even going to go into conspiracy and the agenda that's behind all of this stuff. I'm not even going to go into that. But believe me, this world is perfectly and beautifully constructed to take advantage of the weaknesses of your mind. So if you're not capable of controlling your mind is just going to take over. It's going to do whatever it wants, and you're going to experience through all of this, and you're going to backwards rationalize why you made that decision, but that decision doesn't serve you. Okay, so. Do you have habits that do not serve you, but you keep doing them? Why? It's because you don't have the discipline. You have not beaten your mind yet. You're supposed to beat your mind. And then it becomes your servant. Make your mind your servant. Okay? So, keep doing that. Okay? Next step. These 5 heads should be similar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made the basis of comparison in this wise. Okay? I'm going to say it again because we got a pretty big list here. Okay? Therefore, okay, let me start again. He was referring to the factors: moral law, heaven, earth, the commanders, method, and discipline. Okay, we went through that. Now, these 5 heads should be familiar to every general. Okay? You are the general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Okay? Inevitably. See? And by the way, before I continue here, guys, who do you get your advice from? Or who do you get your inspiration from? Who do you get your ideas from? Who do you talk to for inspiration? Your next door neighbor, your homies, your I don't know, drinking buddies, your girlfriends. Who do you go to for inspiration? Who do you go to? Okay, so here's my approach is, look, I rarely talk to people to hear their fucking opinions. Okay, very, very rarely. There are very, very few people that I actually contact to get their opinion. Okay, and those people are like I said, very extremely rare. Because, listen, let's be honest. Most people just have no fucking clue about themselves or life, or they don't understand anything. Okay, just ask them 3 questions. 3 questions. Okay, they're gonna give you some bullshit about the first answer is gonna be some bullshit, some superficial, dumb shit that they heard somewhere, and just regurgitating that. Okay, it's like a school test. They just learn some fucking facts and then they spit them out, right? And they think that's intelligence. That's not intelligence, you idiots. Fuck. And I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about these people, you know? I'm talking about these people. It's not intelligence. They're just facts that can be regurgitated. Uh, ask 3 questions deeper or 4 questions. Ask for, go a little bit deeper. Go a little bit deeper. And you will find that after 2 or 3 questions, they're not going to know. They're not going to know because they never understood it, you see? It's just superficial stuff. They're just scratching the surface and they think that that's not, no, it's not. That's not understanding. Understanding, it goes deeper, okay? So my recommendation would be that you do that. And when you go somewhere for inspiration, go to geniuses from the past, these people, philosophers that have lived thousands of years ago and are still known. Okay, that means something. Don't go to your friends. They don't know. They don't fucking know. They don't. Yeah. Okay, let's make this clear. You know what? I think I said enough. Okay, how long was the stream? Long time to see. Okay, so that was an example. Okay, so how do you use these texts to improve your magic and to improve your understanding of self and whatnot? Okay, so this is a new series. I'm probably going to do many more. I don't know when. I don't know when I'm in the mood, but this was a demonstration of how you do it and how you should do it. Okay, so well, let's keep it at that. If you're not on Magic Mentor, get on Magic Mentor. You're missing out. You're missing the fuck out. Seriously, like you. I mean, if you're not doing that, nobody can help you. Okay, so get on Magic Mentor, grailoftheserpent.com/Magic Mentor info. Thank you. Okay, talk soon. Peace.